13. Shut the fuck
Hogan,
up,
shut your
Booger.
bitch ass up.
13.
Dead ass.
It's happened again. We've had someone horribly mismanage the league race. I know, it's not a surprise. This one is one of the worst I've ever seen, though. I'm not going to lie. Y'all know the person in question. NASCAR Looney. Back at it again. Looney, I've known him for a long time. I've known him since like 2020. You know, he's grown a lot as a human being since then. But, you know, I feel like something like this was just too catastrophic not to talk about. So Looney created this NASCAR 25 league a while ago, you know, before the game came out. And, you know, he's had it set up the way he had it set up. You know, I've seen worse. I mean, it was like, you know, worse guys going Xfinity, you know, based off, I guess he based it off merit, or not merit. I don't know what that word means, really, so I don't know why I used it. More so based it off of, I guess, what he thought, maybe, or maybe some people just genuinely just because of their skill level chose to go down to Xfinity. But regardless, Cup guys, he had it to where they could only bushwhack a little bit, couldn't race all the Xfinity races. You know, that's all. That's fine. You know, I've seen way worse league setups. You know, that's completely fine. But we hit the Daytona 500. It's Daytona 500 time. I said, you know, fuck it, I'll race. I still don't know if this is the worst decision I made that day or the best one. Because while this was a hilarious experience, hilarious experience. I'm sorry, saw something on my phone. This was also one of the worst league races I've ever been in. And it starts off, this is the race playing right now. I didn't clip too much of it, but I mean, this is the race. There wasn't too much of it completed, as for the sheer fact that Looney, someone started trolling, and Looney called everyone, told them to leave the lobby because there was some dude trolling. And a big thing with Looney is this. He has a lot of people who watch him. He has a pretty sizable fan base, especially to the point to where he's at an advantage when he creates a NASCAR league, dude. There's going to be hella people wanting to join. You know, like, there's going to be a lot of people that want to race, and he's at an advantage there. If I was starting off, whenever I started at Pepsi in fucking 2021, man, I didn't have, you know, I didn't have a fan base. A lot of, like, what I'm trying to say, a lot of people have to build their, you know, their league from the ground up, and Looney didn't have to. He's at the luxury of, he's already past that step. Now it's just, you know, the actual quality of league owning. That's all I clipped. That's probably all y'all wanted to see. It was a wreck fest. It was a caution almost every lap. But anyway, but the problem is there's going to be some shitters, right? And Looney's going to have to take care of those guys. Clearly he didn't. I know there was dual races. I don't know how much was shown to Looney in those dual races that some of these guys just shouldn't have been in the field. Some of these guys can't hold the line, or regardless. But there was so much people in that race that just shouldn't have been. And I think a big thing is, when it comes down to it, it's just ultimately frustrating how much shit-ass league races I've been, like, in when it comes to NASCAR 25, because it, you know, if I'm being real, the number's pretty insane, man. The league racing quality has gotten somewhat better, though. While, you know, Varick Coda was a interesting experience in the Cup cars, and Xfinity, it was pretty solid. In the Cup cars, we quite literally couldn't get through the race with game yellows on because everybody would just full send it into the corner. The classic Strat, oh, it's Coda. In turn one, I can gain 10 spots. And even though I know I'm ass around literally the other, I don't know, dozen or so corners around the track, even though I'm pitifully slow in all of them, if I gain all my positions in turn one, then it won't matter. So people just get that false info in their head. They full send it in. And, you know, that's how wrecks happen. You know, Coda is kind of a tricky beast in this game, but it's not that hard to at least drive at a base level. right? I mean, if you can't contain wheel spin, if you're trying to, like, there's a difference between trying to contain wheel spin going fast and trying to contain wheel spin when you're just trying to go through the motions. If you can't contain wheel spin while going through the motions, that's a problem. That's a true problem. But if you're trying to gain speed and be faster, that's different. But it just ruined a lot of people, sadly, are the first one, trying to gain speed, going through the motions, but wrecking every corner. And that's just how COTA went in Vair and Cup, sadly. But while I did make a mistake, I got in the back of someone, they spun out. That was the only mistake I made that whole entire race. And, me and Shake were both able to get back up there and all that. And, I thought about it. It was really I don't wreck people often, so I'm just happy that rare occurrence didn't really have too much significance. I've also lost all form of speaking. But anyway, as I was back to Looney's league, basically, Looney doesn't know how to run a league. Yeah, right. What happened was we were creating a new lobby, and I guess, I don't know. I think I just decided not to race. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, I look in the Discord that Looney's in, or that Looney's Discord, and hey guys, make sure you're in my YouTube server. The league is ended. What? I don't. Some people try to convince Looney, hey, keep the league up. Just make it shorten the races. Some dude said shorten the races to 10 people. I'm not going to lie. That's a little bit of a. That wasn't the right call. I'm glad Looney didn't do that. But, some people were at least trying to convince him. Some people still cared. And that's the thing. Looney's really lucky to have a lot of people who genuinely, want to race in his league. Just off rip, even though he doesn't really know how to own leagues. A lot of people want to race. And that can go a long way, but he was horrible at managing it. And I think Looney's league and, Vair or, Hennessy is a great way of contrasting leagues from people who get a lot of people because they're just a popular person, or contrasted to just leagues who get a lot of people because they're a good league. It's well ran. And I know there's been a lot of knocks on Vair, and some of those knocks have been justified, but the racing has gotten better as the season has went on. While COTA was a shit show, that could have been expected. I like to think a lot of the big thing is a lot of the racing past 10th place is horrible. The racing etiquette from anyone past about 10th, guys. I'm also for that one person who runs 11th in every race and you race clean. That's not a knock on you. I'm trying to just create some sort of hypothesis. I'm not Albert Einstein, but I'm just trying to say that I feel like a lot of people just they don't know how to race around each other. And I did make a mistake. I do make mistakes sometimes. There's times I'll get into someone, we'll hook each other. Sometimes netcode. Netcode's not good at all in this game. Netcode doesn't offer any favors. It's really bad on this game. But people still need to learn how to race around each other, at least competently. Mistakes are going to happen, that's fine, but there's some people who genuinely, throughout the whole race are making mistakes, and it's at that point, that's truly just a you problem. That's not even racing at that point. That's just, and I really just hope it gets... I've come to the conclusion these people aren't going to get better because they don't care. It gets to a point, if you wreck so much people, it's okay, there's no way this person cares. If he's wrecking this much people, getting to the back of people this much, they don't care. They're not going to get better. That's not how that works. That's not how it's going to work, because if you... There's a difference between a league racer who's completely shitty and is really slow, but he wants to get better. And there's a difference between that and a league racer who is, he may be a little fast sometimes, or not even fast. He may be, let's say, for instance, decent, but he drives in the back of everyone. He's always putting people in the wall. He's always wrecking people in every race he does. always sending it in. He doesn't care. I would much rather have the league racer that is completely slow and is clean all day, every day. I'd rather have someone run 5 seconds off pace and get out of the way for the leaders when they come, have fun, race clean around people when the opportunity is presented to them, rather than someone who's decent and literally just drives through everyone. I just hope a lot of these, because there still is a good amount of people in there, or not a good amount, there's still a few people in there who are they just shouldn't be in the field. And a lot of that is shown in cup races. Not really truck races. Trucks have been great, really, especially the last 2 weeks. Xfinity has been solid as well, but again, that's because Xfinity and trucks get lower numbers than cup. Not by that much, granted. Well, actually, hell, trucks at this point, 16 people. That's a good amount of people, right? But cup sometimes, man, 26, 27. Sorry. People, a race. You know, I'm being for real. It was not supposed to be a joke. But yeah. I just hope some of these people get, low key just kicked out of the league. That's the point I was just getting to. Some of these people just don't need to be racing. They've shown they don't care, and that's fine. They'll find another league where they don't care. Never, if you're a league owner, never have a problem kicking someone out your league who doesn't care, especially someone who likes to intent wreck or someone like that, because it's obvious they don't care. They don't care at all, and it shows lack of character. And it's like, dude, if they're showing enough desperation, showing enough just lack of ability to give a fuck that they are literally LePaging people, then that's showing me that they're not going to give a fuck if they're racing around someone for a position either. They're not going to give a fuck at all. And, most of these people are adults. I'm a 16-year-old, but it doesn't take a fucking well-veteraned neuroscientist to, figure out who doesn't need to be in the league and who does, And I just hope some leagues figure that out, because there are some shitters left. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much today. I really don't know why. I'm going to fucking lose it. But, okay. But yeah, I just hope it gets better. My league, Pepsi, we're looking to just not let those shitters in. Just gather as much information from as much league as I can, and just not let those people in the league. First race went great. Hopefully it stays that way. But my point is, if you have a league, this goes for any league, if you have a league that gets a lot of people, don't be afraid to. It's fine. I'd much rather a 12-person race that's clean than a 20-person race that has 7 fucking cautions. All day, every day. That's just the right way to do it. It just is. In my personal opinion. That's just my take, though. This footage is from Barrett Trucks. Barrett Trucks at Richmond. Excuse me, shit. Great race, by the way. And, this one, 18 people. I almost said only 18 people. I'm not that far gone. 18 people, that's a lot of people for a league race. I'm not that far gone. I'm not going to say only 18, but, as I'm saying, you can have great races with a lot of people. But if you have to cut down on a few, get some fucking shitters out of there, don't be afraid to. If they don't care, you shouldn't care about, them being in the league. You'll find someone else. There's thousands of people out there, trans, women, bisexual, men. It doesn't matter. I don't even know why I started talking about, genders, ethnicity. I didn't even talk about ethnicities. I'm going to just end the video before I start saying some random shit.